Hey everyone, so to start off on the face, I just used the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, which was a primer just to add like a glowy base, and she already had moisturized her face before we did this. I did fast forward a lot of this process because it literally took a lot of time to blend it all out, so I spent a lot of time, probably a good 2 minutes minimum, just to blend all of this out just so there's no streaky marks left on the face. Then we used the foundation Estee Lauder Double Wear, and I just patted this all over onto her face, and we used just one pump for the entire face. So I used the beauty sponge, this is the Real Techniques one, just to blend it all out first, and she does have dry skin, so I thought this would be the best way to blend it all out, and I just took a lot of time to put this product, kind of press it into the skin. Here I've applied the Collection 2000 Lasting Perfection Concealer, which is actually hair concealer, and it's pretty much hair skin tone. So we just went in with this first before going in with the brightening one. Here you can see I've used a lot brighter concealer, and this one is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, and this is in the shade C5, which is a lot lighter than her skin tone. So I've kind of just dotted just a little amount onto her face, and then you'll see I keep going in with it to build up the product. So here you can see I've added on a little bit more just to make it even brighter. Next I'm doing some cream contouring, and this is using the Laura Mercier Cream Contour Palette, and I started off using medium 2, which is the second darkest shade, just to kind of map out her cheekbones, and also I put this along her forehead. And then now here I'm going in with the darkest shade, which is medium 3 I think, and this is just to make it even stronger and further define her cheekbones. And I'm using the same shade also down the bridge of her nose, and I'll also put it just below her bottom lip, and that will basically make her lips look even fuller and even more plump. When I'm using the sponge, I am kind of dabbing in really lightly, though it looks like I'm putting quite a bit of pressure here. I'm just really lightly bouncing the sponge across her face just to blend out the product. Now I'm just going to be baking the face with the Ben Nye banana powder, and so I'm just really packing on the product onto the sponge, and of course the sponge is damp as well, and I'm just pushing this all over the face. So I'm putting more under the eyes and on the chin, but I'm kind of going all over the face with this. Then I'm also applying the powder just under her cheekbones just to intensify the contour. Now using a fluffy brush, this one's actually the Real Techniques multitasking brush, and just brushing off all of the powder. So you'll notice I didn't keep the powder on for long on her face because her skin is dry. So this was enough to kind of really set her makeup for the day, even though it was only left on for probably less than a minute. So now the face is set with powder, so we can go in with more powder products. So now I'm going in with the contour, and for this I used the Bahama Mama bronzer by The Balm, and this is a really cool toned bronzer, so it's perfect for contouring, and it's especially good for deeper skin tones I think. So I'm just going over the areas that I've basically already contoured, so cheekbones, forehead, under the jawline, and now I'm also doing the under the lip and nose contour as well. Now I'm just going in with the Makeup Revolution. Sorry, I'm going in with the Makeup Academy Undress Your Skin Shimmering Highlighter in the shade Iridescent Gold, and this is just the first highlighter that we're going to be using. on the face. So now we're moving on to the eyeshadow, and for this I used the Lorac Pro 2 palette, and I can't remember the name of the shade, but it's basically a brown shimmery shade, and that's just going all over the eyelid, so you can use anything similar to this, and that's just going over just the eyelid, and then you'll see me kind of blending out the edges. So to intensify this eye a little bit more and to add depth into it, I'm applying a darker brown shade from the same palette into the crease, so any dark brown shade will do. And this is just going into the corner of the eye, kind of like a V shape. So a V shape from the corner of the eye into the crease, and you can see I'm applying it quite heavily at first, but then just kind of blending it out. So you'll just see me doing that here. And I just keep repeating this process, so I'll just go in again to make it even more darker until it looks the way you want it to. Then I'm just blending out the eyeshadow using a peachy shade. So here I'm just using a random shade I got from Kiko, but any light shade will do, light peachy shade will do, and I'm just using that to buff out the edges of the eyeshadow, and I'm making sure to use a clean blending brush when doing this. Then just to intensify the nose highlight just a little bit more, I'm using a really white light highlighting shade just to make it stand out even more. And the one I used is from Kiko, but I think it's discontinued because I can't find it online, so any bright shimmery highlighter will do. You can see I quickly just applied the shade Half Baked, which is a really bright golden colour, onto the inner part of the eye just to make it a little brighter. And now I'm just lining the lash line with a black shade, and it's a matte colour. So this is just to kind of add more definition to the eyes, so it's still very blended out, but I'm keeping it close to the lash line. And again, I'm just building it up gradually to build it up to the desired intensity, so I'm just darkening up until I think it's dark enough. And then just blending all of that out with a small fluffy brush just to make sure, again, there are no harsh lines. Then I'm just wiping away any excess fallout that may have fell from the eyeshadow away from her face. And now I'm baking the sides of her nose with that same banana powder from Ben Nye. And this is just going to make sure the nose contour is nice and clean, and it also just gives a cleaner look overall and makes the skin look kind of more airbrushed and polished. And also, whenever there is any excess powder, I kind of just pat it into the face like you just seen me do right there. And now I'm just using the blusher from the same Rituals palette. It's basically just an orangey blush which does have some shimmer in it. So any orange shimmery blush will do. And you can see I just keep blending it out and adding more to make it more intense as I go along. Now just moving on to the eyebrows, I've just combed them out, and she has amazing eyebrows. As you can see, they're really thick. So it didn't take too long. And here I've just cleaned up underneath the eyebrows using a light shimmery shade, just again to make the eyeshadow look more clean and put together. So back to the eyebrows, I used Motive's eyebrow palette, which is a powder product, and I just used a dark brown shade basically just to fill in the sparse areas of her brows, and I only filled in towards the end of her brows, as you can see here, because they obviously just don't need a lot of work. Now I'm using the Maybelline 24-hour, I think it's a lasting gel eyeliner, and of course I'm just lining the eyes with the black gel eyeliner, keeping the line very thin because we don't want to make this too dramatic, it's keeping it soft in the eyes. So I'm just lining the eye, and I've done a very small baby wing, so nothing dramatic. To do the eyeliner, you can see I just use very short, small strokes, and I just use that to build up the line, just to make it easy and to avoid any mistakes. Here you can see I'm just using a concealer brush with a little bit of concealer on it, just to clean up the wing shape, just to make sure it's nice and clean. And now for the best part is the lip, which is kind of the main part of this makeup look. So we've used Huda Beauty liquid matte lipstick in the shade Heartbreaker, and I just used a lip brush to apply it just to make sure it's nice and clean. And again, use that concealer brush just to clean up the edges to give it a clean look. And I used a darker lip liner, just to line it, just to make it more defined. And now the inner corners of the eyes, I'm just using a light shimmery gold shade. And again, I applied more of the half-baked eyeshadow from Urban Decay, which is a bright gold, just to make it pop even more. Now, quickly doing the bottom lash line, I've just added the same dark brown colours that I used on the lid, just under the eyes, and just blending those out, just to add more definition and tie the whole look up together. Once again, wiping away any excess fallout from the eyeshadows. Also apply mascara, and of course you're welcome to add falsies to the look. We actually didn't use it here. So now here we have the finished look with part of the bridal dress, and I think it looks amazing. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Give me your suggestions and feedback, and give it a like if you think she makes a beautiful bride. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you in the next one.